I'm just gonna go grab my cup of tea, and then we'll sort of start, I suppose. Right. Hello. Oh. But during the stream, you'd like to ask a question? Just question in brackets, and then your question. No, JJ, it's just starting. We're just starting. I'm only going to be streaming for about an hour. I think, hopefully, next week or the week after, I'll be back to being able to stream at least a couple of hours and meet stream, and everything should be a lot more normal. We'll talk about that in a second. Oh, I better tweet out and stuff. Let's do that. Let's do that then. Start. We are. No, I am streaming live now, and talking about Star Citizen stuff. Okay, I app. Ask some questions. BoredGamer UK. Bam. That is good. Salty Mike's eco server's doing well. Just have to check that. It's bugging me. Ooh. That all looks good. Let's close that. Did someone just send me stuff? Did something happen? Looks like something's happened. Lumbaraki. Lumbarak. Look, how do I say your... Lumbarak. Thank you very much. There's a beautiful panda. There's a beautiful... whatever that is. And then you've given me a load of subs. Or given other people a load of subs, which gives me money. Thank you very much. Just Lumbo. You want to skip the rack? I can call you Skip the Rack, or I can call you Lumbo. Thank you very much, Lumbo. Very much appreciated. Which space? Tony Macaroni, Jake Coric Sculpture, and Chaos Squall. You've all been forcibly subbed to my channel. I hope you enjoy. Morning, mate. Morning, Sin. Oh, I'm gonna. So, Zin, I'm live. I'm gonna go into live streaming just in case you want to join me. So I went into our Mumble server, and I'm not sure if there's going to be, you know, just casual racial epithets just being thrown around or something. It's not. It's not. None that happens. Whenever I join into a hot channel, as it were, I will very much go to make sure no one's doing anything I don't want them to be doing. That I later need to apologise for. Is the angle on my camera right? Let's have a look. Probably. Hi. How's everyone doing? Hope you're doing well. I am. I'm here. We're going to be talking about we've gone full scat. We'll be talking a bit about Star Citizen, obviously. We've got some bits on like 3.15 that have been talked about recently. Especially with medical gameplay, like CIG sort of like saying it's a game changer, or at least one dev at CIG saying it's a game changer. Doesn't matter. If it's just one dev, I'll still put it as a title for a video. Bam! Is this the game changer we've been waiting for? I do that because more people click on those videos. See? It's like a click lure. If only there was a term for styling or videos like that. Click luring. Yeah? Click bobbler. Bobble. But what are the things that sort of like they're on the top of water when you fish? Those. Yeah? Yeah, I hope everyone is doing well. We've had some cool little things in the newsletter. So let's open this bad boy up. Boop. So we had this screenshot as a teaser. Okay, I was going to say it's probably the part of the Horizon Crusader showroom, but it literally calls it Horizon Shop. So you can see here some. Well, it looks actually like a repair shop. It looks like maybe a customization shop. Maybe it's Cousin Crow's going on here. So Cousin Crow's is supposed to be customization of ships. So that will be from paints to modules to lots of stuff. Customization. But yeah, paints and modules are the sort of like things I'm actually most looking forward to. Modules literally being modular changes to certain ships, like getting your Retaliator and changing out or buying the cargo pods for it rather than the torpedo pods or the dropship pod. Yeah, things like that. But I'm very much looking forward to 3.15's now updates to Horizon version 2. I love the Horizon landing zone. but it actually having more functionality and potentially having additional functionality over other landing zones with getting these new customization shops in as soon as possible. I mean, even if it's just the locations of them properly first and then the functionality, I mean, it shows that they're working towards it. I mean, more working towards it more in the short term, I should say, because they're working towards a released full game with everything. But 1 minute late. What time do you call this? You should have got NordVPN. So these are the comments that I like to see. Just about to ask if you've had your tea and crumpets. So I'm on keto again now. After 3 weeks of not being keto and gaining about 7 pounds in weight. So I went, well, I have to go back to keto. So I'll go back to keto for maybe a month or two, and then I'll just try and have a balanced diet. I am giving up alcohol, and today is a big test of giving up alcohol, because my mate, who is 7 doors down, is having his housewarming party, with lots of my mates are going to be there, and I'm going to try not to drink at all. Just for a while, no drink at all. See if I can manage that. I can do no drink at all. Maybe I have an occasional one. But not that I was a terrible alcoholic or anything before. I was just terrible. No, it's just I think it's probably healthier for me now. Also, I think with my father passing and being a bit stressed, I literally saw how easy it would be just to go, you know what? Alcohol's pretty good for dealing with my problems. Well, props for me for not drinking. Let's see if I can do that. But I appreciate the support. 3.15 is due soon. So, I'd expect to see the PTU open up to Evocati in mid-September. And maybe open PTU maybe slightly later for the Evocati phase, slightly later in September, and open PTU for CitizenCon. They're either going to be aiming for an open PTU for CitizenCon or a live build for CitizenCon. That's my expectation for 3.15 now. 3.15's big ticket items, the two major big ticket things. There's a good amount in there at the moment, but it's the personal / local inventory update, which is pretty important, and leads towards us having sort of like our own hubs and own space and stuff like that. Really, really super important. Really good for cargo. Cargo updates probably coming very soon after that in a lot more sort of meat to cargo. But also with 3.15, medical gameplay, opening up of hospitals, new medical tools for healing people, the potential for a downed state. Now, I'm not sure if that is going to be for 3.15, but if you can heal people, yeah. Well, there's probably going to be medical missions and stuff coming soon, but it's... someone doesn't have healing on them, and they need healing quick. Yeah, they're injured, need healing quick, they're bleeding. And you have to faff around getting your medical tool out, and they die in front of you, and you're like, that's going to be annoying, yeah? So I'm just hoping they have a down state at the same time, or a longer time to bleed out, things like that. The current Star Citizen build, even though the newsletter was wrong, let's go to the newsletter. The current Star Citizen build, according to the newsletter, is 3.14.0. It's not. It's 3.14.1. So that's the latest current to live build. There is no ongoing PTU for normal tiddly peeps, at the very least. Sometimes they run an Evocati PTU in the background, sometimes for reasons. But yeah, 3.14.1 has come out, and it's not bad. It is a significant improvement to the 3.14 branch. Although there are still some edge case errors and some they are rare and uncommon, but people that are affecting, it's pretty shit. So loadout service issues are probably the biggest problem with Star Citizen at the moment, and then desync. Okay, so desync is a lot better, and performance is a lot better, and stability is a lot better in 3.14.1 for sure. And I think that's it's across the board overall, on average, and hopefully, even people that are having loads of problems can still go, actually, I'm having less. But loadout service problems are really annoying. So these are things like they might not let you load into the game properly. You might not be able to change your equipment on your ship or your mobiGlas. But if you can't load in at all, well, can't play. And some people have that problem, can't load in. So one of my mates, JP, potentially because he's got so much on his account, he's having that problem. But lots of people are having it for lots of different reasons. So hopefully CIG are going to hotfix that. But yeah, 3.14.1, loads of little updates, loads of bug fixes. Yeah, so I'm glad that they've deployed that and that it was actually reasonably good, or at least a significant improvement just before they got the free fly out. So we are in the middle of a Star Citizen free fly now. So we have a free fly until the 27th of August, where you are able to, as long as you put the code in, go on the website, there's a code, bam, to put the code into the promo page, but you can test out the Aurora MR, the Mustang Alpha, the 100i, the Prospector, and the Anvil Arrow, and the Mercury Star Runner, all for free until the 27th. There's also some discounted game packages, so a game package with a Mustang Alpha, or an Aurora MR, or 100i, or a Anvil Arrow, for 10% off their War 1 price. Any issues selling ores when they are in your backpack? I stopped doing that in 3.14 because I was having lots of problems. I've not tried it in 3.14.1. You can go to the support.robotspaceindustries.com page, see if there's a workaround for it. But I was not having luck with selling ores directly from my backpack. They're going to remove stuff from 3.15. What do I think they're going to remove? That's a good question. It's going to depend on what priorities are. Now, so hospitals and medical gameplay, that's almost certainly sticking. Like that's pretty locked in at the moment, in my opinion. Where is the roadmap? Have I not got the roadmap up? What am I? This is amateur hour on the BoredGamer stream. So 3.15. I'm going to bring this up. We've got the hospitals, we've got the clinics. That's all going in. Orison 2.0, almost certainly now because they pushed it up. Doctor and nurse AI behaviors. I mean, they could potentially get pushed back because they're not essential. So some of the AI stuff could get pushed back for shops, patrons, AI behaviors, the various things. So it's interesting they had the Broken Moon map, but not the Dying Star map updated, because we've actually seen it. I'd say you're a bigger Sympathy 3 subbing to BoredGamer than a Tier 3 subbing to half a knackered Eagles of some description. I mean, the stuff they've done with Unifons, it's interesting. They've just gone, nope, now we are just a pure artistically contented site. No nudity. But I suppose they would have lost their payment provider if they had continued to do that. It's an interesting one. I can't blame them for doing it, though. I mean, yeah, people can live their lives however they want. I'm not a massive fan of the culture of people that have very little money trying to trade that for a relationship with someone that does not see the relationship in the same way as you. However, if you have the money, or you're adult enough to know what you're getting from spending that money on that person, you do you. I mean, literally, it's all good. You spend your money on what you want to spend it on, whatever makes you happy, whatever. I mean, people donate to me, for God's sake. People don't. You just donated to me, Hexodus. So, I mean, people donate thousands of dollars to me a quarter or a year, or whatever. Yeah, and that's in addition to like subs and things. So I do genuinely appreciate that. But I mean, I love the culture. No bored hot tub streams. I mean, I don't even get in the hot tub with my friends. I'm not going to do that for everyone else. The auto mod Lumbo, it will deny. has denied you. Denied. So we got here. Oh, we were talking about stuff they might remove from the patch. So infiltrate and defend missions. I suspect we will see new missions in 3.15. I love the idea of defending, because it's mostly going to be underground bunkers. They're sort of referencing here. It's going to be defending structures, assaulting structures, the underground bunkers, basically. And we sort of have that. But the idea of spawn lockers is they can spawn in dynamically and spawn out security forces, and you can have people helping defend with you. You can have people assaulting there. There's a lot of stuff you could do with this. I love the idea of taking, holding, and just hold for as long as you can for payouts. If we can do stuff like that, great. But I suppose that some of these missions could get pushed. I think of the big things. So I think medical gameplay is locked in. I would hope that local infantry didn't get pushed, but I suppose it's a possibility. But it looks pretty done. I think the most likely things to get pushed back would be loot generation, FPS scanning and radar, and potentially bombs. I think all the rest of the stuff is pretty good. The big ticket items, I suppose it's possible that personal infantry could get pushed, but I think they are prioritizing it. And I actually think that there's not too much. There's not a huge amount in that patch. It looks like a lot because they've sort of expanded out. Look at all the new zones we've added. Well, it's just expanding out in hospitals. I mean, yeah, it's impressive. It's a large amount. But it's not all the stuff in the world.
But I could never surpass Sarge 3v3. And about that, I hate seeing my donations being squished ironically between Sarge 3v3's $1,300 donations. Like, there isn't any competition. XD.
So, JP or Sarge is a genuine champion of the people, and you should be proud to be on any board with him. Any board. Because he's given me so much money. I don't just respect him for that, though. I respect him because he's a good chap, and he gives me money. Thanks, Sarge. JP, thanks, JP. And Hexodus, I love you too. You know I do. I love everyone. You don't need to give me money. I appreciate people asking questions and talking and commenting on videos and stuff like that. That is genuinely super helpful, because that's how the channel grows. That's how I make my lion's share of income from the YouTube views and from the NordVPN. Maybe you should get that. What are you expecting for a surprise ship? I'm saying the Apollo straight to flyable. And what ship do you think they could surprise us with? So, I mean, we've seen things like there's the possibility for the 400i or 500i ship, and there's possibility for an Argo raft. There's the sort of mobile refinery ship. There's a potential capital ships that they're working on. So, I don't think they're going to surprise us with any ship that we already has been announced. Yeah? But I do think we're more likely to see variants and vehicles. What else have we got? And he's in stream today. Maybe. She said hello earlier. I joined on Mumble. She is online. So she might turn up. Who knows? I hadn't talked to her today. I came online. I woke up. Oh my god! I woke up like I didn't sleep very well last night. Woke up loads during the night. Stayed up. So I woke up like 3, and I was like up until 6, and then I went back to bed until like 10. So I was like, oh, so I feel a bit icky. But yeah, when I woke up, it's like, oh, stream a little bit later, 11:30. Haven't talked to anyone else yet. I appreciate the love, thank you. Right. They could add the A2, just not have the bombs. That's true. They could, and if the bombs weren't ready, that's probably what they'd do. But it's supposed to be sort of bomb features for not just the A2 but other ships as well. 30K is still a thing. Mining is bugged and trading is pointless. SIG's video content team is full of false advertisement. Well, they certainly, with the videos they do for the game, they do certainly put it in the best light possible because they're trying to make the game look as pretty as possible. Same as when I do B-roll. The B-roll that Zin's using in the background here, she recorded it. We want to make it look nice. I mean, it's real from in-game, but I didn't go, Zin, try and find all the bugs and glitches and take a photo of that. Take a video. Make the worst performance you can, Zin. Could do that. So, I mean, it's, for new players, it certainly is, they make it look a lot more polished and featureful than it is, for sure. For sure. But, I mean, what games, sort of adverts don't do that. But it is actually probably more real than most other game trailers. Do you know what I mean? They go, well, a game could use just its cutscenes in its trailer. You go, well, that's not representative of gameplay. Well, technically, a lot of the Star Citizen trailers are representative of gameplay. However, it's just from a very, very beautiful angle. There's definitely a conversation to be had there. I'm not saying that it's totally fine what they do with that, because they have this sort of cognitive dissonance with playable alpha that are odds, and they do try and show off each of these major releases like they're a beautiful new released product. It's like beautiful new ecosystem and like all this sort of stuff, and it's not. It's an alpha game. It is alpha. It's not even nearly ready. How are you doing, BG? Very tired, but getting there. A lot of the admin's been done now around the house and stuff, so I'm getting there. My mother's, I think, quite a bit better. So, but thank you for asking. Appreciate it. You were playing the Star Citizen soundtrack in the background. Did you get permission from CIG to use it in the videos? Yes. Everyone does, as long as they adhere to the fan content guidelines. There's two. There's two types of guideline. There's fan content and there's YouTube monetization one. I do think I link it in my videos, the attributations to that. But as long as you're making Star Citizen content, I think CIG probably have the right to revoke that at any time, but they give you license to use that. It's on their website as well. And also, I have also asked about 5 years ago. And that's why I use Star Citizen music straight from the game. Would you agree that the Taurus is the most useful ship in the game right now? The most useful. It depends on what use you're looking for, but it has one of the most wide ranges of uses at a very cost-effective price. So you could argue at the slightly smaller scale, the Cutlass Black, or even a smaller scale, the Avenger Titan, or a larger scale, Mercury Star Runner. Yeah? I love the term click tickler. That's beautiful, Dutchy. I predict Pyro Crab for Sitcon. It's very possible that they could show an animal like the Boreal Stalker, or the Pyro Crab, or a Space Whale. I mean, they might start off the Vista. They might start off spawning, or even ending spawning in the Orison Hospital with like a Space Whale going by in the background, something like that. Oh yeah, so I'm not sort of... so when I was talking about alcohol earlier, I was never like a dangerous alcoholic. Well, actually, probably in my younger years, I probably was pretty bad with alcohol. But now, I just get... I'd actually been pretty good for a long time, but there was a couple of times in the last maybe 3 months where I've got a lot drunker than I should have. And that's because I was stressed and I just couldn't be asked. And I literally intended not to get drunk as well, and I just went, fuck it, sort of thing. So I don't want to be like that. And I don't want to get into a position where I'm going, you know what? It is easy to deal with stress and problems by getting drunk sometimes. It's a nice crutch in the short sort of term to rest upon. But yeah, I think that's sort of... There's a difference between letting your hair down, I haven't got any hair, and just getting shit-faced. Do you know what I mean? I've got quite an addictive personality. I've never been one to do things by half. Well, maybe actually, I'm pretty low effort. I think I'm just a contradictory being. They did say there would be a new variant on a current ship. What's your money on? I'm saying the Gladius. The Gladius is very possible. I mean, there's a huge amount of going on with Star Citizen. I think a lot of ships are going to see variants. So I think we're going to see a lot of variants for ships that are currently in game slowly appear. Gladius is a good ship to get a variant on, though. Especially seeing it's like top tier gold standard. You can see it with the Sabre as well, though. Even the Hornets could have more. They did say they could really surprise us by actually finishing any Drake ships, including the Caterpillar Modularity dockable command ship. So, modularity, they will finish they'll start with the modularity for the Retaliator. They've got the Retaliator dropship and cargo modules done. That's what they said. And they are ready for when the modularity goes live. And then after that modularity's gone live and there's like a little bit of tweaking to it, then you're going to start to see the Caterpillar stuff probably quite quickly. What are your expectations for the first implementation of Pyro? So Pyro is actually a pretty simple system for them to do. Visually, it looks pretty cool. I mean, it's going to have like these like flares coming out of the star. Yeah, it's quite a bit pretty backdrop, pretty simple everything else. Ruin Station, major landing zone there. Some automated stations around, some slightly different skinned pirate factions, and then you have the different planets there. But for the most part, those planets are 1 or 2 biomes, very basic. They can do it pretty easily. So, and then they'll want to. I think they're going to want to try and have some interesting things for PvP combat and some interesting missions over there, because they've always got the interesting factions there. But also, they do have the Pyro Crab. Is it on Pyro 2 or Pyro 3? Pyro 2, I think. Pyro Crab, Cthulhu Crab. I think they're going to want to try and have that done, if possible, for when 4.8 goes live with Pyro. Is Horizon version 2 just cloud tech, or is it more NPCs, areas, etc.? So, opening up of the hospital there on Horizon, they're opening up some more of the shops. Expect to see things like the Crusader showroom open, that sort of stuff. So they're opening up a load more of the areas there as well. And yeah, we could see cloud tech improvements at the same time, and almost certainly will. Do you think the Cutlass Red is going to get updated, an updated pass in order to adapt it to the new 3.15 health mechanic? Does it need one? You could in the short term, it could still have the beds as respawn points, and I mean they're obviously going to change that eventually. But I suppose they will get at least updated to be able to heal people properly as well, to the new healing metrics, as it were. How many star systems do you bet by 2025? A dozen? End of 2025? Maybe 10. A dozen's probably a bit extreme. I think we might see 10 star systems by the end of that year. Quite sort of seriously. And that star system will be pushing towards or into a beta. I do think they can get them up a lot more rapidly after that, quite genuinely. The complicated systems then become, because after they've got like 3 or 4 systems done, the only complicated systems then become the hero assets and the new architecture. So Banu stuff, Xi'an stuff, the actual the city planets there, Terra. But then lots and lots and lots of the different star systems. Well, they can use a lot of the other tech and actually be built out really quickly. And when do you think Squadron 42 will be completed? Well, I originally thought at the end of 2016, like an idiot. So I'm hoping for a end of 2022 release. Just a shout out for my little fluffy co-pilot, Obby. Lost him on Monday. I'm sorry to hear that, Joko Pliskin. He's a beautiful cat. I saw the tweets. I'm a massive cat lover. Not in a dating way. That would be weird. Okay, thank you very much for becoming a bored citizen. Appreciate it. Namaste. That's what we do now, apparently. I have got a very blurry vision today, but that's because I woke up early and haven't slept. Hey, I haven't taken an Avenger. Should I buy the Sentinel or the Warden next? Okay, so you'll probably be fine just with the Titan Avenger and be able to get everything in game. But if you're talking about what you want to buy in game or what's next to work towards, well, so the Sentinel is so they're both Vanguards, the Warden and the Sentinel. The Warden is supposed to be the sort of more tough variant, or maybe not necessarily tough, but more survivable variant. It's supposed to have the sort of central area actually be its own escape pod, effectively. That you can, like, living area sort of escape poddy thing. And the Sentinel is much more e-warfare sort of orientated. Now, I love the Sentinel. The Sentinel is one of my favourite ships. So, with that in mind, the Sentinel. What is the closest thing in Star Citizen to Thunderbird 2? Which one was Thunderbird 2? So, it depends. So, Thunderbird 2, let me bring this up on screen. So, Thunderbird 2, we could see Endeavour with the hangar module, yeah? But we could also have a Constellation, because you could have the vehicle and the ship, or a Carrack, or a Polaris. Depends what you want it to use. On the smaller scale of things, Constellation. Because it has a ship and a vehicle that can deploy. This is such a weird thing to have on my screen. Nice. Appreciated for people choosing to press that join button under my YouTube videos. It really does help the channel. Pow, pow, pow. Which ship do you think they'll fly at CitizenCon for the main event? Ooh, that is a ruddy good question. So, could this be one of the unannounced ships? Because some people have been saying to me they think like we're going to see a Polaris or a Baru Merchantman or something like that. I mean, see a variant of a ship. Yeah, I do think they're going to fly something new, even if it's just a variant of a ship. I was thinking this the other day. I was thinking, what could we see? There could be lots of stuff we see. The Hull C, we could see lots of different things. I suppose seeing the Redeemer would be pretty cool. We might see something more multi-role like a Polaris if they've been working on it secret, but I haven't heard that. Some people are saying 400i. I was or 500i, whatever CIG decide to call it, if it is really a thing, which it probably is. Will they discount the free fly ships post the event? So the free fly is on until the 27th. The free fly ship packages are on until the 30th, I believe. Discounted packages. Also, I'm expecting that when XenoThreat, the new XenoThreat event goes live, which is on the 25th of August, I would probably expect to see a combat ship sale at the same time. Does the purchase stuff from the free fly event get saved when you buy the game? If you purchased it from the website with real money, yes. If you've purchased it in-game, you'll keep the stuff until they do a full persistence reset, a database reset, which they sometimes do, but I have not done it in a long time. But I do actually think they need to do one relatively soon. Board for controller profiles. I'm surprised they don't use model sticks and controllers and allow visual bindings to switches. I know, but I think that they will eventually. They just haven't got around to it yet. I'm surprised they haven't got a small dedicated team or just a couple of people doing that. Do you know when they're going to be working on hired NPCs for solo players with multiple ships? So the first thing you're going to see that's big steps towards that in the probably not too distant future is AI blades. So the ability to put a module or a computer into your ship that allows certain turrets to be operated by an AI. Getting NPC crews are a bit further out from that, quite a bit further out from that. But that will still have the same effect of what you want. That's probably going to be something that we'll see by the middle of next year. Sort of rough, optimistic, I reckon. Maybe the end of next... Yeah, between now and the end of next year. It depends on their priorities. If they start prioritising it, because we know they've actually done a load of work with it. So so when we saw the Bengal in-game, that had actually done a load of that tech. Was there ready for it, the modular AI turrets. So... which feature are you most missing in the Moby-Glass minimap? Minimap. Just so a minimap and that giving me locational data and a coordinate system, stuff like that. It's just would be superb. Is there an issue with the pre-fly 100i? It's not on my list of ships. Okay, so there is an issue with that ship. That it can spawn you facing the wrong way. Well, when you get in the pilot seat, it's sort of like can have you facing the wrong way quite often. So it's possible they've removed it briefly because of that. Do you ever do consulting for other YouTubers on how to work on their brand? I mean, I'm happy to talk to people about that. So typically, if people want to send me questions on Twitter or Discord or my email, rich@boredgamer.co.uk, or my Discord, discord.gg/boredgamer, you can get me on there. Message me. I will answer questions. I don't charge money for it. I'm happy to help people, time permitting. Over the last couple of months, it's been hell, so I've been doing that a lot less, and I've got a load of emails from people that are like requesting support or trying to show me something which I have not got back to, but I will be getting back to that stuff soon. So if you've got any, you want any help or any ideas, want to talk something over, want to chat, I can try and give you some answers. You're more than welcome to ask me concise questions about how do we do this, what do we do with this, and I will try and give you some answers. I haven't been in 3.14 yet or experienced Horizon. I've pledged. I watch a lot of content, but I'm loath to play. I'm just not invested enough. Sad but true. Cool. I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. Play it when it's a full game. I mean, I've got loads of people I know that have sort of purchased a Star Citizen package and have never played because they're like, well, I'll play it when it's done. I want to support the game. I mean, let some of them buy a load of ships and don't play. I was like, yeah, it's cool. I love what they're doing and I want to support it. But I'm not ready to play it yet until it's a proper game. The arrow top turret got locked in this patch. Do you think this was just a test balance or is this a permanent change? I think probably just a test balance, probably a bug. And with Chris Roberts moving to the UK to finish Squadron, yes, so either at the end of this year or the beginning of next, that's what he said. Are you less or more concerned he may actually be behind you soon. Nice. I'm looking forward to going for a studio tour back up in Manchester / Winslow when Chris is around, because that would be fantastic. Egg question mark? We know that they'll be able to get NPCs for turrets and such. What about for those that want to solo an Orion? Would mining NPCs be a possibility? Yeah, there's certainly a possibility. Getting a crew for a large ship is a possibility. Getting them to be relatively functional is a possibility. And in fact, they've basically said that. But they're not going to be as good as getting a player to do it. Recently started playing again and got my roommate to play with me. I have a freelance miss. What's going to be the most profitable activity he and I can do together? You could run loads of bounty missions and then get grind up to the harder ones. You could probably do pretty well in them. Because you'll get the higher level of bounty missions and the bonuses that you get from having a reputation there. You can make quite good money. Passenger ferry gameplay when. So this is probably going to be something that we get around the same time as the Genesis Starliner. We don't know when that's coming in game. We do know that it's very important to be able to have a system to move players and NPCs between planets from sort of like a more commercial passenger transport thing, but there will also be missions associated with this in the future. When do you think we'll hear more about the Polaris and Banner Regiment? Hopefully around CitizenCon. What's your favourite armour in game so far? Probably the Grey Cat Industrial, the yellow sort of worker armour. It's Grey Cat Industrial, isn't it? The one I'm thinking of? Yeah, it does. Yeah. Let's see. I really like this one. Although someone has modified it with the Half-Life symbol. I think they modified it with the Half-Life symbol. Lol. Gordon Freeman. With the homesteads confirmed for CitizenCon yesterday, well, yeah, we'll see. When do you think we will be able to build our home on a planet? So I think we're going to see the ability to sort of like customize our habs on planets before we're able to build them. Base building, there's something we'll probably see after server meshing. So once they've got server meshing in, probably need dynamic server meshing. You could probably get away with just static server meshing for it, and then they'll probably talk about it more. Stuff can change at CitizenCon last minute. Just sort of bear that in mind. So, XenoThreat 2.0, I think people are really going to enjoy. That starts on the 25th of August. That is a representative of the improvements that CIG can make and to an event after running it once. So, over quite a short period of time. So let's see what that is like. They've also updated for the new sort of standards, which are very different to what they were combat-wise with the original XenoThreat. And I'm very much looking forward to that. And they sort of, from what I've seen, they've listened to the feedback so far, but we'll see how that plays out. It is going to be based on how buggy and crashy and performance sort of annoying it is. Though. So if I can play, jump in, do some XenoThreat stuff, do the cargo mission, immediately go into the combat, bam, I think that will be awesome. And how viable is it to do that if you're just a solo player jumping in and seeing who's online? If there are going to be a load of people that are also going to be doing that, great. Or do I have to be in an org for this event? So it depends on how popular the event is, basically. When do you think they'll rework the best ship in the game? Unbiased opinion, of course. The Carrack. Carrack's pretty top tier for me. It's maybe third favourite ship. So they'll get around to it. There were gold standard passes of all the ships eventually. So they've done the Gladius and the Sabre, and they've just done, or doing the Retaliator now. And it's going to be the Squadron 42 ships they do first. Egg or no egg? Egg! Do they nerf Contanium in the update? They may have changed its spawn rates, so I haven't actually checked. Can you explain what persistent hangars will be like? So I'm thinking of them probably in 2 stages. So there'll be the first sort of stage of persistent hangars will be part of like local inventory. So you will have at landing zones, you will have persistent hangars where you can store your items and your stuff and move them between you and your ships. You may have some form of customization there as well. That's the sort of first stage of them. The next stage of them would be a lot more customization and the potential for physicalized addresses for your hangars. Because what I would expect is more of like a central sort of, almost what we have now, sort of for hangars, more public common hangars. But your elevator takes you to your own technical personal hangar. Although it's not really, but it is. But it's not its own unique physicalized addressed hangar. CIG stated they want basically all dogfights to occur at approximate 1 to 2 kilometer distance. Yes, for the fighters, that's the sort of approximate dogfighting range. Do you think that will remain, or will some weapons enjoy much further distance than others? Yes, but at the longer range, you are not really dogfighting in the same way, eh? So the actual dog fighting, they want to be within that distance. And there's going to be edge cases, and there's obviously going to be support ships. So maybe with the size 7 cannons that the Ares and Inferno have. Maybe, well, especially the sort of Ion. Maybe that's supposed to have quite a bit of a longer range, but it is more of a support ship, not really a dog fighter. It's a heavy fighter, but... where can I buy a PC that's good enough to run Star Citizens? Depends what country you're in. Lots of PCs will be able to do it. I really want to be aiming for a 3070 if you're looking at new stuff. 3070 or above, graphics card wise, and just a solid newish gen CPU should do you. I heartily recommend something of the new 5000 range from AMD. Anything for 5600 onwards should do you fine. Posted Mercury Star Runner for the win on all your videos this month. Can I have the Mercury Star Runner, please? You can obviously buy one in game, and it's a possibility you will win. I mean, it's quite a low possibility, but it is possible. It's entirely random, unfortunately. But good luck. Every time I click on the persistent universe, it takes a long time to load and never brings me to a server. It just brings me back to the main menu. Okay, delete your shader folder. Close the launcher entirely. Close the game. Relaunch. See if that works. It could be a lot of different things. A cat reset can sometimes fix it, though that's more of a nuclear option. What's a good escort ship for the Carrack? So, obviously it can carry a ship with it. That's more of a utility snubbing. You can use them for combat as well. Another Carrack. So the problem with having an escort ship for the Carrack is it needs to be super long range as well. I mean, you might be able to get away with something like a Vanguard or something like that. It depends on the distance and the range you want to go, because obviously long range expedition ship. You could argue another exploration ship might be a good escort. Do you have do you expect to have to stay in one location, planet side, in your ship over a long period of time once we get exploration gameplay. Really hoping for some kind of research expeditions. I'm not sure what you mean. So, planet's going to be massive, and depends on what scale you're going to be exploring them. So there's going to be lots of stuff to do on the ground. There's going to be lots of stuff to do from air. There's going to be lots of stuff to do from space, scanning. Depends on what missions you're doing, base building. Are you exploring the caves? Are you hunting wildlife and plants? What are your top 3 ships at the current time? Mercury Star Runner. Probably the Sabre. And the Carrack. Thanks a lot, Board. Watching everything you produce. I'm going to join you today. Appreciate it, mate. I'm not going to be streaming for too long, though. With Squadron 42 having a good chance to come out next year. Yeah, it does. Does that mean we could see the Idris or the Javelin implemented into the PU? So obviously we have them in the PU occasionally, as you can see here. But they are AI only, basically NPC only ships. It's looking more and more likely that we'll get the Javelin in-game as a player ship before the Idris almost. Just because we've seen so much more of the Javelin interior and Javelin functionality almost. Although I suppose the Idris, an empty Idris, is quite simple. And we have actually also seen that before. So, yeah, I think it's very possible that soon after or around the same time Squadron 42 is released, we could see those ships in game for players. Are you still waiting for the Titan suit in game? Yes. I mean, it's one of the things I was most excited about, but now I'm just sort of like, Do you think there will be an Anvil capital ship? So we've had some rumours about it, and it's quite possible we'll see it at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo end of November. It's probably when they'd announce that. They could do it at CitizenCon. They like to announce some ships at CitizenCon. They like to announce some ships at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo. It is the biggest sales period we're coming towards now for CIG from October to December. Is it just me, but are there more NPCs on average interacting within the PU prior to the release of version 3.14? I mean, they are doing big AI overhaul for 3.15 with NPCs and interactivity for things, so I haven't noticed. What's it all about winning a ship in or after the free fly event? Sorry? What do you mean? There's a referral thing going on where if someone by the 30th signs up to Star Citizen and purchases a ship package of at least $40, both you and the person that's code they used will get a Dragonfly. Which type of multi-crew ship in Star Citizen would you consider to be your favourite out of all the multi-crew ships? Mercury Star Runner. I love the Mercury Star Runner. It's a beautiful ship, beautiful tech, beautiful uses, a little bit of everything. Looking forward to its future with data and smuggling gameplay as well. Oh, a little bit of everything. And it's reasonably good. Sort of combat. I played the Ninetales event as a criminal and found it was very unfair, as you have to fly all the way to Grimhex for repairs. They should at least open up the station for criminals. And also, if you die... That is a very good point. Go to prison, which is unfair. Criminals need more attention in the event. But potentially should be a lot more reward for criminals in the event. I'm happy for them to have a load more risk, because I don't care if stuff's balanced like that. But I would want the reward to be hugely higher for the criminals if that's so much more risk. Yeah. Have they added the dynamic ramp height on ships yet? Not that I've noticed, but we are supposed to be getting it. So that's lift doors and ramps. Actually, I haven't had problems with them. I can't remember when that was supposed to be coming. So like lifts and ramps and stuff, when they go to planets, they'll clip through the floor appropriately. They conform to it, but it's going to clip through. Fuck it, why not? Trying to do delivery missions, the boxes will food for my ship and planet. That happens a lot less now, but cargo is more viable than it was in 3.15. Sorry, in 3.13 and 3.14. And so in 3.14.1, it is more viable, but it's still not great. And mining, lots of little bits of mining that are broken. Yeah, so there's server degradation, and that causing a problem for prediction, rubber banding, desync really, and AI not working as intended is still a problem. Star Citizen. First in-game purchase I always recommend the Cutlass Red. Yeah, that's a really good point. Cutlass Red and having a medical bed for a respawn point, really quite useful. The Rock is obviously great as well, because the Rock will fit in the Cutlass Red or in the Cutlass, and you can have a little mining vehicle. What else have we got here? I love the Mercury Star so much. It's just I love its tech. I love all its little buttons. I love its vent system. I love its little hidey holes. I love its secret panels. I love the little chest thing. It's all cool. When are they going to fix the bug with the mobiGlass and no access? So there's a couple of things. There's some loadout service issues and there's some mobiGlass problems. So changing the mobiGlass to another mobiGlass case can cause some problems. But they fixed a load of the mobiGlass issues more recently. If you're still having either loadout service problems or not being able to access the mobiGlass, you can try deleting your shaders folder. They recommended deleting your web cache, which I have no idea how that's going to help with anything, but that is one of the things I saw support recommending. Character reset can sometimes solve this sort of thing, but it is a nuclear option and certainly does not always solve it. In fact, does not commonly solve it either. There's been some hotfixes deployed. Hopefully, there'll be a hotfix that just solves it. Some people have been left a bit in limbo with it, though. One of the other ways that people were saying they were able to get out of the mobiGlass bug was customize their characters from the character customizer, and then save the changes, and then change back. And that was sometimes fixing it. But I've got a video on a load of the fixes for things like that. That some of them work as workarounds. It's on my channel in the guides section. Do you think the Polaris work with the current server limitations? The Polaris will work with the current server limitations. Do you think we might see Perseus before the Polaris? I mean, it's possible. The thing is, we don't know. I love the Polaris, but I'm in love with Perseus. I think Perseus is one of my favourite ships that is yet to be released. I think it'll work with some limitations, yeah. So the short-term Cutlass Red sort of medical stuff, I'm expecting it to allow you to respawn there in the short term when they actually start to have tier 2, when they start to be much more important that only tier 2 beds can respawn people, then the Cutlass Red will lose that ability because there's a tier 3 bed. There's a stabilization and light medical and sort of treatment bed. It's not supposed to be for respawns, but in the short term, respawn still. How are they going to maintain interest in events like XenoThreat after permadeath mechanics go online? Well, I mean, you don't just die when you get killed. You've got a certain amount of lives. Some of these events are going to be very limited time, and the risk versus the reward. As long as the reward's high enough and it's fun, cool. Have you noticed your accent changing over the past couple of years? Sometimes I go back and watch the old 2.0 and 3.0 content. I can hear the different. Nah. What are you chatting about, mate? I mean, I had different mics, and I've certainly done different audio processors on my voice. I talk differently all the time anyway. I'm bipolar. I go through huge phases, and I'm sort of like a social butterfly. I conform to the way that people are talking to me. I conform back at them very quickly. You all right, mate? All right? Oh, you all right, geezer? I don't normally talk like that, but maybe I would if you were talking to me like that in chat. Not sure how you talk to me like that in chat. Think it might be half Cockney. Hi, mate. Is the Origin ship shop part of 3.15? I believe that it is a strong possibility that we will see the Crusader showroom as part of Horizon version 2. But there's obviously other stuff that they've been showing, like this, which I'm assuming is Cousins Crow's customization shop, rather than the Crusader showroom shop. It could just generally be two shops. There could be a Crusader showroom and another ship shop there, all we know. Do we know anything about how much data something like a med computer will hold? No, they have not talked about that in enough detail. I've heard this somewhere, but I heard that 3.15 is already an Evocati. Not as far as I am aware. Although they do certainly test elements of 3.15 stuff, or future stuff with Evocati occasionally. What it's very likely is that 3.15 stuff is being tested and in the internal dev builds, very much so. Ninetales is running this weekend, I think, mate. Yes, and probably occasionally throughout the week as well. So it's on and off all the time. It's an on and off event. It will just keep on happening. Ninetales Lockdown. So you should see that this weekend if you want to get involved. You'll know, so typically around secure Crusader-esque areas, the space stations there. If you see urgent medical supplies needed or mercenary mission for helping with the Ninetales, then you know you're nearby. What on earth is the rear item on the prospector at the back? Is that a future thing? A fuel scoop? What's the thing going to be? Are you talking about the little boxes? It's got deployable ore containers, which you can jettison off. Is it supposed to have a tractor beam at the back? Question mark? It would make sense if it was supposed to pick up cargo containers. Well, it's ore containers. Do you think cargo transportation by truck may be the size of Ballista or bigger? Will be something worthwhile? So, I'm expecting to see ground construction vehicles for base building, and I am expecting to see ground transport vehicles for larger scale ground transport of materials, because people are going to want to move stuff between bases, and people might have bases nearby and that sort of stuff as well. They might want to use the facilities of. Right at the back of the prospector lowers the radar. I'm assuming a tractor beam. I don't actually know what you're talking about. Maybe I've just never noticed. Prospector. Citizen. Damn it. My mate Kit sings a Star Citizen song. Star Citizen, it's a game, it's in space, it's a spacey game. Star Citizen. Something like that. I can't remember. She'll be annoyed at me that I haven't got the song correct. She sings that to me occasionally. And that's stuck in my head. Is this is that an old prospector? Is that what's going on there? There's no weird arm thing here. Obviously at the front, you've got the arm. I hardly recommend Star Citizen tools for most of your Star Citizen needs. I need to spawn my prospect and have a look at it at some point later then. But it's possible that... well, it's possible they're putting fuel hose things for linking up for the refuel mechanics, but I would expect more like it's... or somewhere to pump stuff, but I would expect it's more for a tractor beam. That would be my expectation, but I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about. Sorry. I can take a look and go, oh, I never knew. Do you think when the game is complete, you could live your character's life without leaving a planet? Yes. And I think somebody will going to do that. I mean, it's a sort of, that's got that sandbox nature to it. Are you sometimes tired of Star Citizen? I mean, waiting for it. Talking about it, gathering info with... Not really. I mean, I do it as sort of like a... I love doing this as sort of like a job. Because, I mean, I do a lot of other things as well. But I love doing Star Citizen YouTube stuff. I research it every day. Love being part of the community. Love the project. Love the project warts and all. There's occasional drama, which is really interesting. They do stuff wrong, they do stuff right. They produce a huge amount of content constantly. Yeah, really love it. And it is, on paper, and from what I can see, genuinely a game that I'm going to be no-lifing a lot. And when it comes out, to at least to an extent. I mean, I'm going to be playing loads of other games as well. I love games. I love multiplayer stuff. So really looking forward to it. So it's like one of my top-tier excitements for gaming. Is the thought of Star Citizen. But I haven't got bored of Star Citizen yet. I mean, there's been an occasional like drought of Star Citizen content, which I'm like need to talk about. But that was years ago. Now they're pretty good at communicating. There's always a lot to talk about. Does CIG have a dedicated team for mission content? Yes, they do now. They talked about it recently. They have a mission content team, which they literally reformed from a couple of other teams. So they are literally dedicated working on mission content and similar. You're still looking forward to the Endeavour? I mean, I am. I mean, I've got an Endeavour Master set. I think it's one of the ships I'm most excited about. However, I also think it's one of the ships that's going to come last into Star Citizen, because science is such a huge range of things. And that ship is a giant science modular ship. It's quite complicated. Will there be a XenoThreat on the PU soon? Yes, the 25th. 25th of August. That's when that event starts. So, Pyro at the end of the year. I mean, I think we'll see it at CitizenCon. I don't think we're going to see Pyro until the earliest Q2 of 2022. Probably more likely Q3. But actually in-game. And with static server meshing. Because they want Pyro, static server meshing, and almost certainly refueling at the same time. Because there's not that many places to refuel, restock, and rearm at Pyro. So, there's a lot of cool stuff that's going to be happening relatively soon. 25th, we've got the XenoThreat Remastered event. So jump into that, play that. That is during the free fly. So CIG listening quite a lot to feedback there going, you know what? Last time you did a free fly, you did it straight after XenoThreat. And you cut XenoThreat short almost. And so maybe have a free fly at the same time to prove you can do stuff like this. And this is vastly improved. Vastly improved event. Oh, hopefully. We'll see if it all breaks or whatever. And And 3.14.1, really, really happy with that. They've made a load of improvements. There are still problems. There are still some people that cannot get into the game, and that must be frustrating, and I'm very sorry. Well, I'm not that sorry, and it's not my fault. But I sort of feel that I cover Star Citizen and I talk about how good it is, and I don't get some of these problems. If I was having this problem, you would know about it. Like, I'd be like, I can't get any Star Citizen recording done. Or if Sin was having the problem, I'd be like, well, got her editing and recording. She can't do any work. Or limited work or something. Because I'm not. It's a bit different, isn't it? Any idea when we'll see a Squadron 42 beta? We will probably not see a Squadron 42 beta. Internally, they'll have a beta. But and Eva Carty might get beta just before the release of the live actual on-the-shelf thing for Squadron 42, if they need to do stress testing. That's a big if. But we will probably not see ourselves, as players, a beta for Squadron 42. Does Zin all love or hate or absolutely top tier NordVPN ads? So she loves the ads. I'm not sure how she feels really about NordVPN. But I think you have to accept NordVPN into your life. And know that NordVPN can save you. It's my 12-step plan to NordVPN. That's good. No, that's a video idea. I assumed they'd allow dumping ore out the back. Yeah, so one of the things that we're expecting to have for ships and ore ships is being able to chuck out the elements, the ore, the trash stuff that you don't want out the back. That was a long way of saying sucks to be you. Well, I mean, I'm a diplomat. What can I say? Not the chocolate. Don't know. I mean, in the UK, do you have Thorntons in America? You probably don't, because your chocolate does not stabilize as appropriately. Like in the UK, actually, until they took over Cadbury's. That's a bit. We got shit chocolate now. We had chocolate. In this sort of climate in the UK is good because you can have it. It's perfect. You don't need to put these weird stabilizers in. It's just chocolate superb, melt in the mouth. Bam. In America, you've got to put all these stabilizers in because it's too hot and too weird, and all your chocolate would melt otherwise, and it tastes shit because of it. Sorry, it does. That's just a brute fact. He said, Welsh, yeah, perfect. Solid chocolate. So yeah, I think that the next major event we're probably looking forward to after XenoThreat is probably CitizenCon. Well, so we've got 9 Times Lockdown happening every so often. We've got XenoThreat starting on the 25th of August for a few days, maybe a week, maybe 2 weeks, but then it's going to be done. And that might be the last time we see XenoThreat. Maybe. I mean, they use some composite parts of it in the future and lots of other events for sure. And obviously XenoThreat as a faction will still exist, which we'll see quite a lot of in the Pyro system. So there was this month in Star Citizen post. So obviously they talk about, let's bring this up. We've got 3.14.1 being out. We've got that 3.14 free fly with those ships. We've got a referral bonus with the black and red Dragonfly. Talk about the 9 Times Lockdown. We know we've got XenoThreat on the 25th. We've got the Ship Showdown starting on the 23rd. So this is where they have us, players and backers, vote on what ships that we like the most, what popular against 2 that are fighting. And they go down all the lines and then they go the top 4 most popular ships and will all get skins made for them, which will be given freely to people that have those ships, that own those ships. And typically they have like their own little free fly or display of them in the Intergalactic Space Expo or on another day. And so voting on these winning ships is good, and the top one normally gets like a little item made for it as well. It's always interesting to see that sort of stuff. And there's going to be a Spectrum AMA, so this is when they go on the Spectrum forums. They open them up half an hour before the actual thing goes live, but you can ask questions, and the team members that are making dynamic events and working on them will answer your questions. I typically jump on there with one of my aliases now, because some people got annoyed that I was getting all my questions answered. I get my alias questions answered now. I will tell you something now. Switching to an alias did not affect the rate that my questions get answered. But my questions, I've used loads of other people's ideas for questions and formed them into a more concise little questionette, typically. So I've just thought about it, and I do get in immediately. Like the questions that are asked in the AMAs, they get more upvoted and more likely to be seen by the devs that are doing the AMA the quicker they put in, because they get more exposure, literally more exposure. There's also Talk Like a Pirate Day, which will probably see pirate ships go on sale, like the Cutlass that they show there, maybe the Caterpillar, maybe some other piratey ships or skins. I thought it was International Talk Like a Pirate Day mid-September, but apparently CIG have got their own one, or maybe there's a different Talk Like a Pirate Day. I don't know. Maybe Star Citizen Talk Like a Pirate Day is on a different day. Yeah, that's the sort of stuff that's coming up soon. Very much looking forward to CitizenCon, and we're going to be talking about that a lot on the channel in the next few weeks. Obviously, that's the 9th of October, virtual-only event, but a huge amount's going to be shown off there. The gameplay demo they're going to show is probably going to be something special. It always is. Trying to think what else I'm looking forward to. End of November is the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo, so a big ship sale. And we could see some other stuff. I am expecting to see, with XenoThreat going live on the 25th, probably a combat ship sale as well. But there's ships, combat ships, missile ships already on sale at the moment as part of 3.14. But yeah. The 19th of September is International Talk Like a Pirate Day, normally. Yeah, well, this is supposed to be Star Citizen things that are happening this month. So say International Pirate Day, or sorry, Star Citizen Talk Like a Pirate Day is later this month. That's what they suggest. Will planetary large-scale farming, will there be a thing? Question mark. So you'll be able to farm on planets. Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean by large scale, but you are able to buy plots of land that are 2x2 or 4x4 kilometers, and there's going to be farming, but I don't know to what scale. I hope to a quite a good scale. I want to be able to run a farm on my planet. That sounds amazing. Do you think that the one supplies might be the Yeti? So that we know they are working on the Boreal Stalker or the Microtech Yeti. So it's possible that we'll see that at CitizenCon, yeah. Space Cows, Yeti, Pyro Crab, are sort of like the ones we're expecting soonest. The Oni Crabs, whatever the hell they're called. The floating rat things that we first saw physicalized at Heston, I think, ages ago. So, getting the AI to be able to walk around facilities and use those like prefab blocks of structures is different from them pathfinding on planets, which are much more complicated. So that is super important for them to be able to get that, because then you can have animals, then you can have NPCs walking on ground, then you can have them defending structures in a much more dynamic way. Imagine how long till farm mechanic. That's like talking about when we land on Mars. Star Citizen's going to be a long-term project. It is. I do think we're going to be very close to having something that would be akin to a beta in 2025. It's a long thing. Sort of have to accept that. You're more than welcome to say it's not appropriate, or that's not what I think is appropriate, but that is realistic. And even beyond when Star Citizen's released or finished or whatever, it's still not finished. I mean, the version 1 release, they're still going to want to add a huge amount more star systems, because there's no way they're getting 100 star systems for release. I mean, I might be wrong, but there's no way. I'm thinking sort of like a dozen systems for release, or 24 systems for release, is what they need, and they start just working on gameplay area and more ships and more mission content and that sort of stuff be the main focus. Rather than additional gameplay loops beyond missions. But we'll have to wait and see, I suppose. Question/statement. Seeing space whales in clouds while in hospital beds needs to be mandatory both in Star Citizen and in real life. I know, right? That was weird the way the guy said. So in the Orison Hospital, he says, go up the elevators in the hospital there, there's going to be a wind sculpture. I don't know what that means. Does that mean a weather vane? Does that mean a sculpture going, this is an interpretive sculpture of the wind? I can't see the wind, and that's solid. Unless it's not. Unless it's like, you just get in there and they're just blowing fans at me, and I go, I know, I understand, the sculpture of the wind is me. But they also said that you're going to be lying in bed when you respawn, and when you're going to medical treatment, you're going to be able to see the whales floating past. That sounds amazing. He made it sound like he had seen the whales do that. That's true, then that's something we're going to see at CitizenCon. I mean, having the whales in the distance that you cannot reach, seeing them breach the planet, is something they could do in the short term. Yeah? They don't have to do anything more than have just a physical thing moving around a bit in the distance and having it look quite pretty, I suppose. It's someone just saying space herpes. What? Like, that's why you're there to get treated. What are your thoughts on the game Starbase? I haven't played it yet. I've got a key for it. I haven't played it yet. Just haven't had time. Do you think CIG will also make pests that sneak onto your ship if you don't watch out? I'm hoping that we see rats or tribbles or whatever. Yes, I would actually expect to see that. To some extent. Not like a, oh god, this is a weird gameplay loop thing. Latest they've said they've created the new Montreal team to do persistent universe content. So yes, gameplay area, star maps, new star systems. What the hell have the other 700 devs been doing? Well, I mean, they've been working on the current gameplay area, mission content, AI, NPCs. I mean, Star Citizen, I would expect, maybe 40 of those guys to be working on gameplay area out of 700, quite genuinely. And a lot of those guys will be doing bespoke areas for Squadron 42 and individual sort of hero asset areas or modular level design areas. Yeah? That's probably what they've been doing. I mean, you can see that's partly from the progress tracker. But most of those people are going to be working on Squadron 42, I would expect it. Not all of them, but a large portion of them. I'm not a fan of spiders. Let's just say that. Is that a cardboard cutout of Chris Roberts? No, it's the real Chris Roberts. You right, little Chrissy boy? Hello. Information about the pet system. We don't have information about the pet system. I think it's just going to be aesthetics, terrariums, cool areas that you'll probably have to have planet side, or maybe your hangers, maybe attached to your character might be a parrot you could put on your shoulder or something like that. But I don't think you're going to actually have pet companions walking around with you. I might be wrong. They might actually go, you've got dog meat. Cool. Bam. You got a tiger now. You're a hunter in World of Warcraft. Why not? Don't know why I've got angry about that. Sorry. Thanks for the stream. Good to hang out. Except for when you accused me of being one of those dastardly Americans. Sorry. Apologies. Didn't mean to cast aspersions anywhere. Squadron 42 better be worth it. Eagle, I agree with you there fully. It better be. So Squadron 42 needs to be at least a great game. It needs to be at least the 90% sort of game. 9 out of 10 at least. Because it proves that Star Citizen can be made, the RSI, the Star Citizen team, CIG, can make a game. And it's their magnum opus. It is a lot easier to make than the Persistent Universe, really. Maybe not to get the perfect cinematic experience, whatever. But it's been so hyped. It's got the lion's share of work. It is important that they can prove they can do it. So yes, it better be worth it. I agree with you there, totally. And I would be bearish on Star Citizen, to use a market phrase. If Squadron 42 is bad, I mean, we'd have to analyze what goes wrong. I mean, I still do channel on Star Citizen. I don't care if it goes good or goes bad. I will keep on producing Star Citizen news, keep on looking at the project. But I'm confident about Squadron 42 being a pretty good game. Like, I mean, they've got all the components, they got all the money, they got all the actors. The only thing that can go wrong is that it's a bad game or they release it poorly. Or both. Well, actually, even if they had... Okay, say it gets huge reviews and is actually highly rated by the people that play it rather than reviewers, because fuck them. Highly rated by the people that play it, yeah. Genuine reviews of people that aren't necessarily Star Citizen fans at all, just the common people. Super high Metacritic of 9.5, and super high, yeah? That's the important thing. Doesn't really matter if it makes money, because CIG are still going to be making money from ship sales. And in fact, if it catapults the game into mainstream, they're going to be making more money than they ever have been from ship sales. So, but we will have to analyze it as is it a successful commercial release? All this sort of stuff as well. I'm not going to go, well, I'll give them some leeway because we'll look at it properly, for sure. I mean, I think Squadron 42 is going to be amazing, but that's just what I reckon. Space horses, space dogs, space cats, space pets in general. We're supposed to have space pets. We are supposed to have space pets, but I don't know what form those will take. There are going to be lots of space creatures and animals as well. When the Genesis Starliner is supposed to be flight ready, approximately. Don't know. We don't know. They have not given us an indication. I got sold on the 2017 Art Court demo, and I'm pretty sad I still cannot land in the shop area or fly close to the ground in the city. Do you think they'll add this anytime soon? We have to see what they want from that. So there's obviously going to be less populated areas and planets and homesteads and stuff that you will be able to fly very close to. The landing zones like that, they want people to be able to fly and look around, but they don't want them to get so close that they could do damage or harm. Do you know what I mean? Is Damien Sons not open on Horizon? No, it is not currently open, I don't believe. It'll be interesting to see because I do very much expect we'll be able to collect animals and fish and things like that for terrariums on ships and things and yabs and stuff. Very much suspect that. I've talked about, you might have to smuggle pets. You might have to get cargo containers that have the correct atmosphere for an animal. Yeah, we'll see. That's sort of all maybes and, that would be cool if. Right. Does anyone have a realistic estimation of Squadron 42's release date? Optimistically, end of next year. But no, because CIG are being very... keeping it very close to their chest. We do know that Chris Roberts is going to... England, end of this year or beginning of next year, to finish closing out Squadron 42. So, and they've put some big hitters, some of the top people on Squadron 42 as well now. Like Richard Tyree just recently moved to it. I say recently. Did not think combat was broken before the rebalance. What the heck were they thinking? And did you feel they needed to rebalance it? So combat in ships, I mean, I haven't done much PvP, but the general PvE combat I quite enjoy. It's weird on paper with ballistics, admittedly. It needs... So the problem is that whatever they change, I can enjoy, but it's not until we have physical components. We need physicalized components in before this stuff should be balanced properly and it will come together or not. That's what we need. So I actually quite enjoy the changes to most of the stuff I've played with combat and the ships and the fighters. Not just on paper, but in practice. It's relatively simplistic. Is it a bit weird and a bit artificially restricted? Yes, but that's the sort of combat that they want. I can understand it, I can see it. I'm not massively happy with ballistics and certain weapons. And when we were playing Mins in 3.14.1 PTU and the test build, the auto gimbal stuff was not working at all. We could not hit anything. It was just shooting at stuff and it was just missing slightly constantly. I was like, what the fuck? Saturday, 1 p.m. lying on sofa. Last night, chicken nuggets. BoredGamer live. Life is good. Astro Chronicles. I think that's you are top tier as a person. Clearly, living the dream. People complaining about balance now just shows how much people don't understand how much is still to come, like physical balance, and how much it will change. That is actually true. They spend a lot of time getting the game playable alpha, which I do think is partly wasted time, but it's not if you look at the way they are developing the game. So it is partly sort of development as a service almost, which is sort of semi-annoying and laughable, but it's sort of true. They maintain a playable alpha, iteratively change things, and some of this iterative change, even though they are going to change it massively in the future, it is steps towards that, and there are other systems they can then balance and they can show off and get feedback on stuff. Okay, yeah, it does take a lot of extra time, but it's might be worth it. But things like the weapon balance and ship and combat balance is going to change massively when we get physicalized components again soon. So sort of bear that in mind. Right. I'm going to dash off because I want to check on my mother. I want to have some breakfast. I'm going to go chat to Zin for a bit. Work out if I'm going to try and do a video today. Or I'll probably take the day off. I'm probably going to take the day off. Got a bit of a pain. Got a pain in my side again. It's sort of like kind of occasionally. So it's right. Gone to the doctor about it a lot. It's not fatal. Well, it's not as far as I'm aware. Viable strategy: buy stolen goods from pirates and provide them with fuel, ammo, and parts, and get free passage through the trade. Yeah, I mean, there's certainly stuff like that you're going to be able to do. Join up with the pirate orgs. I mean, there's going to be pirate factions in Pyro, especially that you can help and that they'll be friendly to you. I appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. I appreciate people that have subbed and that have chucked money at me, such as Hexodus Live. And Kate and people. I know I don't normally stream at this time and on this day, but I will sometimes. I'll start to go back to normal, maybe next week, maybe the week after. But as a lot of people know, my father passed recently. It's been a bit difficult for the last few weeks. I was obviously looking after him. It wasn't sort of a surprise that he was going to pass away, but it's obviously not great nonetheless. But I do appreciate all the love. Thank you so much. I'm going to find someone to stream, to host. Who's actually online at the moment? I will chuck you over to Salty Mike because I love the boy. I'm going to be joining. I'm going to be joining his eco server soon. But thank you so much for watching today, guys. I love you loads. It's very much appreciated. Namaste. I hope you have a great weekend. Make sure you get involved with XenoThreat starting on the 25th of August. That should be pretty good, hopefully. And feel free to contact me at richardboardgamer.co.uk or on my discord.gg/boardgameruk if you've got any people that you'd like me to interview or want to give me some feedback or whatever. Love you guys loads. Thank you very much for the support, and I'll see you soon. Something about NordVPN.